Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023. Commanding General Yohana live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the Brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General Yohana will put 12 shield General Mahaiman scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, ISUPK, undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event. Wam Yasha'Allah.
Want us to stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord people? Israel, let's do it! Wam Yasha'Allah!
Welcome. All right, shalom. This is the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Started out since 1969, man. You understand? In 125th Street, Salakia, Harlem, New York, man. All right, and we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the Israelites. You understand, according to the Bible, man. All right, God's chosen people. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go into Genesis 37. Bible can share.
What verse? From verse 1?
Yeah, we're going to read quite a bit. So 1 to 27, yeah.
Book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in a land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
Right, so that's the promised land. Jacob is dwelling in the promised land. You understand? This is where our nation is beginning to grow in the earth, man. All right, the blessing from all the way from Noah through Shem, all right, and then all the way down from Shem, you understand, to Abraham, then to Isaac, and then to Jacob. All right, that's the lineage, that's the righteous lineage right there. All right, so the Lord is speaking to, who's he speaking to here again? To Jacob, you understand, in the promised land, man, but it's not yet given to us yet. All right, but read on.
These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report.
So these brothers, Joseph would bring, you understand, word back to his father to see how these, how his brothers was doing, how they were getting on, man, what they were getting up to, right? Their evil report. So, just check them out and make sure they're doing good. And if they wasn't doing good, then he'll tell his father. All right. And obviously, they're not going to like it. Why? Because their father's going to tell them off, man. All right. To keep them in check. All right. But read on.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him.
So they perceived that their father, you understand, had a liking to Joseph more than they, right? Because he was the son. Why? Because he was the son of his old age, man. All right. And he noticed that Joseph was wise amongst all of them. All right. So he took a liking to Joseph more, and they hated him, man, because of that. Read on.
And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all their brethren, verse 5, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more.
And he had a dream. Joseph getting visions, and he's telling his brothers, and they gonna hate him more and more, man. All right, because he's getting a he's got the favor of his father, etc. Plus he's getting dreams, man, and they don't like it. All right, read on.
And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obedience to my sheaf.
So Joseph's getting a vision that the binding sheaves in the field, man, and their sheaves, their sheaves, shall I say, made bow down to his sheaf. So Joseph's getting a vision from the Most High, man. Not like people today that says, yeah, well, you get visions and dreams. This is totally different. Moses is a man of the Lord, and the Lord is raised. Joseph Salaki is a man of the Lord here. You understand? And the Lord's about to raise Joseph up, man. You understand? The Lord's about to do something special with Joseph. All right. Not like people in the earth today running around talking about, yeah, we get visions and dreams. Not like Martin Luther King. You understand? That was foolishness. That wasn't that dream was a nightmare, man. All right. This is completely different. Joseph, a man of the Lord, right here. Read on.
And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us?
So his brethren understood what the vision was about. They understood it, man. Your sheaves made obeisance to my sheaves, etc. So they said, what? Shall you indeed reign over us? Are you gonna reign over us? You understand? Now they don't like it because they never liked him, right? Read on.
Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us?
So they knew exactly what it meant, man. They knew exactly what the vision meant. Read on.
And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words.
Mm-hmm.
And he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brethren and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me.
So he said, I dreamed another dream on top of that. There's another vision that I had. I dreamt that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance, made bow down to me. All right. We're going to find out what this vision is in a minute. Read on.
And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down?
Shall what? Shall what?
Shall come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth.
Shall who?
Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren.
Right. So Jacob understood the vision as well, man. Jacob said, away with you with that dream, man, with that vision. Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren, there's the other 11 brethren, come and bow down to you, right? Read on.
And shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
To the earth, man. Right? Shall they bow down to him? Shall they make obeisance to him? Right? Shall they pledge homage to him? Right? So Jacob understood the vision. And we're going to see what Jacob is going to do with that vision. Read on.
And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying.
All right. So his brothers hate him even more. You know what I mean? That special son is annoying. He gets on my nerves. You know that you know what I'm saying. But like you got siblings, and there's always that the goody two shoes, right? That's what the people say today. That's what they would be calling Joseph and mocking him and stuff like that, right? Because they didn't like him because of his visions and his dreams and how he was. All right. But his father pondered on this vision, man. Read on.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again.
And do what?
And bring me word again.
So this is why they hate Joseph, man, because Joseph's bringing the word, bringing the word to the dad to let his father know how they're getting on, man. Are they behaving themselves, or they're up to mischief, right? Joseph, the brother that keep that peace. Joseph, the brother to bring back the word, and you know what I mean? Let the father know what's happening, what they're up to, and they don't like it. All right, read on.
So he sent them out of the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou?
So he saw a stranger, saw a man, and he said, what are you looking for? Who are you looking for? What seekest thou? All right. Well, how come you're out here by yourself, wandering around? And he said, what?
And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks.
All right. Man knows that area well. So he said, tell me where that man knows that area well. You understand? So tell me where they feed the flock. I'm looking for my brothers. Tell me where they feed the flock, right? So what the man say?
And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
They did what?
They conspired against him to slay him.
So even before he got close to them, they talking amongst themselves, man. Let's kill him. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's kill him. All right, they're conspiring together to kill him, to harm him, to hurt him, man. All right. That's not brotherly, man. We're going to find out later on. Read on.
And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit.
And they're saying, let's kill him, man. Throw him in a pit, man. And these days we'll say, well, let's kill him and throw him in a ditch, man. All right. We're not supposed to be like that with our brothers, man. We're not supposed to be like this with our brothers, man. Let's kill him and throw him in the bush, dump him in his body in the bush, man. You know, all of that stuff. This is not how we're supposed to be with our brothers, man. All right, we won't have a nation if we're operating like this. Do you understand? So we need to change, man. All right, that mindset needs to go, man. All right, that is not brotherhood. Read on.
And we will say, some evil beast have devoured him.
They're gonna lie and murder and lying at the same time. Man. I mean, that's a sin. and that's punishable by death, man. Murdering someone, you understand, is punishable by death, man. All right, read on.
And we shall see what will become of his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, that he
Right.
might rid him into their hands to deliver him to his father again.
Right. So Reuben heard that what they're trying to do, man. Reuben's the firstborn son of Jacob, man. Firstborn son of Israel. You understand? And they plotting to kill him, and Reuben heard it, and Reuben said, Listen, let's not kill him, man. Let's cast him into this pit right here. Right? Because Reuben's mind was his mission was to come back and take him out of that pit, man. So they don't kill him. All right, and bring him back to his father again, in safe. You understand? That was Reuben's mission. And read on.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him.
And they're kicking Joseph around, pushing him around, ripping him out of his clothes, man. All right, they're bullying Joseph, man. You understand? Getting ready to kill Joseph, man. All right, strip him out of his clothes. Read on. Out of his cloak, so I say, out of his coat. All right, read on.
And they took him and cast him into a pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it.
Right. No water in the pit. Because if there was, then he would have drowned it, man. Well, it's an empty pit. No water in it. Read on.
And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked. And behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels.
A company of who?
A company of Ishmaelites.
A company of Ishmaelites, man. Company of another nation of people. You understand? A company of Ishmaelites. Like today, we have around us, we have Asians, like a company of Asians, like a company of Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like a company of another nation, a company of Chinese, right? So these are a company of Ishmaelites, another nation, another race of people. Read on.
Another one card. With their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry down to Egypt.
And they traded with myrrh and spices and balm and all that. And they go into trade in Egypt. All right. Read on.
And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood?
So now Judah start thinking, he saw some traders now, right? The spices, etc. And he's thinking, listen, man, let's sell him for some money, man. He's thinking money now. Just like how, you know, Judas Iscariot sold Christ out for 30 pieces of silver, man. This Judah now, the firstborn son of fourthborn son of Jacob, he's about to sell his brothers with the rest of the brothers, barring Reuben and Benjamin. All right, Benjamin being the youngest. All right, he would have been at home. But they're about to sell him now. Read on to some Ishmaelites, to some Arabs. Read on.
Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him.
Right, so he's changing the mind from killing him now, and they want to sell him and make merchandise out of him, sell him for money now instead. Read on. Which is Salaki, which also is wickedness. You understand? That is evil, man.
That's
all right. To want to sell your brother is evil, man. All right. Read on.
For he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content.
So why do you want to sell him if he's your brother and your flesh? Why would you want to sell him, man?
Right.
You know what I mean? All right. And they got this thing saying black people sold black people. The Africans that was in Africa, you understand, they sold the Israelites. And this is what we're going to get into now. It's what we're into right now. The Africans sold the Israelites, man. All right. So it's not Africans selling Africans here. All right. I don't mean in the scriptures. I'm saying in the term of when people say black sold blacks. Hamites sold the Israelites. Hamites sold the Shemites into slavery. We're the Shemites. Africans are Hamites. All right. But here we directly have two Israelite brothers, two Shemites here. All right. Also, a bunch of family of the Shemites here want to sell Joseph, their brother, into slavery. All right, they shouldn't be doing that. All right, we ain't supposed to do those things, man. All right, read on.
That's you want me to read to 27, right?
Can't. Yeah.
Can't. That was verse 27.
All right, go to 42 and start from 1 again down.
Okay, Genesis chapter 42 and 1. Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do ye look one upon another? And he said,
So Jacob saw that there was food in Egypt. Why? Because there was a famine in the land, man. All right, there was a famine throughout the earth at that time, and that number one place to be in the earth at that time was Egypt, ancient Egypt. Everyone had to come and buy corn from the Egyptians, man. Buy food from the Egyptians. Like today, the main trading places today is America, Britain, and so on. All right, trade to the rest of the world today. All right, the number one place where everyone want to be on the earth today is America, man. All what happened was Egypt fell. You understand, that great nation, that great power at that time, that fell, man. The Lord, the greater power, which is the Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he broke Egypt. He took Egypt down. You understand? And now we have another power in the earth today. It's called Babylon the Great, according to the Bible, which is the Americas today, man. All right, and the Lord's going to take them down also. Okay, and redeem Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Read on.
It's like if I could.
Mm-hmm.
And on this story is similar, like in Egypt, it's similar to how, Great Britain and America is today. Like in Egypt, everyone went to Egypt for corn because Joseph had a vision and saw there would be famine, and he told them to store in storehouses and silos, store corn, store food. The same way in today's age, why do people say, "Oh, I want to go to the UK"? One of the main reasons is like the NHS, and the NHS would be nothing without black people, without black people that came over in the Windrush generation and built the NHS. About how England and the US wouldn't be great without the slave labor that they had over 400 years of unpaid labor. That's how they became so great and so rich.
That's right.
The same thing in Egypt right now, man.
Mm-hmm. Because we're back in Egypt again, man. This is a spiritual bondage now. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual bondage now. Read on.
Come. And he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die.
Right. So there's corn in Egypt, man. Don't stand looking up on each other and just sitting around. Go down to Egypt, man. Get some food. And we're gonna find out what happened when they go into Egypt, man. Don't forget the vision that don't forget the vision that Joseph had, man. Those visions ain't gone away, man. Those visions are prophecy. We're gonna find out that they came to pass, man. They happened. Let's read.
And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy corn in Egypt.
10 of the brothers went down into Egypt. Why? Because Joseph's already in Egypt, man. Dressing like an Egyptian, looking like an Egyptian. Been in Egypt for years after they sold him. It was what, 17? I think 17 it said before, right? When they sold him. 17 when they sold him. So he's a good age and he's grown out of their sight now at this point. So they're going to go down and we're going to see what happens, man. And then Benjamin, he's at home because the father wouldn't leave him, wouldn't let him go. You understand? He's the younger one. All right, read on. Read on. Can you hear me?
But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him.
Right, because Joseph died, a wild beast. That's what the brothers said that killed him. A wild beast killed him. They covered his coat in the kid of a goat. They killed a kid and covered the blood in Joseph's coat in that blood, man. So obviously, when they took the coat back to the dad thought a wild beast had killed him, man. Because that's what the brothers said. They lied because they sold him to the Ishmaelites. They sold him to the Arabs, man. Sold him to another nation, another race. They sold their brother out. And that's not brotherhood, man. You understand? But we're going to find out what brotherhood is as we read on further down, man. Read on.
And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came.
The
For the
sons of
famine,
the Israelites, man. Sons of Israel. Sons of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. You understand? This is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians today. We're the sons of Israel, man. All right. And this is our ancestors. This is our forefathers we're reading about here. You understand? This is where Manasseh directly come from. Joseph, man. And Ephraim. You understand? The sort of the Puerto Ricans today, so-called Puerto Ricans. Which one's Puerto Ricans? That's Ephraim. That's Ephraim Khan. The Puerto Ricans are Ephraim, man. And Manasseh is your Cubans, man. That's who you are today, according to the Bible. You understand? That's your biblical name, our biblical name, man. All right. And the so-called Caribbeans, you understand? For the most part, you're Benjamin, man. We're the tribe of Benjamin, according to this Bible. You understand? The Black Americans in America, they're the tribe of Judah. Those of the slave trade, the tribe of Judah, man. You're the real Jews, according to the Bible. You understand? The Levites, that's the tribe, that's the people in Haiti, man. That's the tribe of Levi, according to the Bible, man. These are Jacob's 12 sons, what we're reading about. These are the ones that brought into slavery, man. These are the ones that the Western Hemisphere, the oppressor in the Western Hemisphere, enslaved, man. And these are the same people that later on the Pharaoh enslaved in Egypt. You understand? All right? That was it. The Dominican Republic, man. That's the tribe of Simeon. All right? Simeon, man. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. Read on.
and the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land.
So Joseph was ruler in Egypt at this point, man. He was only under Pharaoh. That was it. You understand? But Pharaoh gave Joseph all the power to execute whatever he wanted to execute, man. You understand? Joseph was the main man in Egypt at this point. Read on.
And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him.
What did Joseph's brethren do?
They came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
That's Joseph's vision, man. It came to pass, man. That's Joseph's vision. You understand? That was a prophecy that Joseph had, that his brothers would come and bow to him. All right? Not on a level where he's better than them. Yeah, I'm better than you. It's not that, man. But this was of the Most High God. The Lord gave Joseph a vision. And the Lord made Joseph, what happened to Joseph happen. We're going to read and find out, man. Tells you that plainly in the scriptures, man. And his brothers came down and bowed to him just like his vision said. Just like the prophecy said, man. Read on.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them.
So guess what? He would have had to be in Egypt for a good while, because he was dressed just like how the Egyptians dressed, man. Which shows you what? We wasn't the same. We didn't dress the same. The Israelites didn't dress the same as the Egyptians, man. The Israelites did not look the same as the Egyptians, man. Similar in appearance or complexion, but not in attire. You understand? And so on. We had a different dress code, man. That differentiate us from them. We had the laws of the Lord. That differentiates us from the Egyptians, man. We're not the same people. The Egyptians come out of Ham. They're what you call Africans today. They come out of the children of Ham. Israelites, our forefathers, we come out of the lineage of Shem, man. You understand? Two different lineage. We're not the same people, man. Read on.
And spake roughly unto them.
And Joseph speaking roughly to them. Why? Because he knows who they are, but he made himself strange unto them. He didn't reveal himself, in other words. And he's looking just like an Egyptian. He's got a beard on his face at this point, and so on and so forth, man. You can't tell what he looks like now. He's grown up. Read on.
And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
And Joseph knew them, but they didn't even know who he was, man. They're looking at him, but they can't tell who he is, man. You understand? It's like you know, someone that's been around you from 17 years old, he come back, he's like 27 now, you know, he's all beard up, right? And he's dressed different. His garment is all different, man. You don't know what it look. You don't know who that is. Read on. And on Salakia, and this proves that what the Egyptians, which are the children of Ham, which are what you know as Africans today, they black. And what it proves that the Israelites are black, man. Two different people with the same or similar complexion. Two of them are dark-skinned people, but they're not the same people. Not all black people are the same people, man. All right, there's a big whole continent in Africa, man. You understand? I might stick their head in the cow's behind and stimulate milk for the cow and all those other stuff. Like, we don't do those things, man. I might stick plates in their lips and all those things. We don't do those things, man. That's not in our culture. Joseph at this point was dressed in the Egyptian culture, man. And his brothers came down dressed in the Israelite culture. That was the difference, man. All right, read on.
And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come.
And Joseph remembered the mission, man. Remember the dream, a vision, man. Joseph remembered that vision, and he said, "Yo, you're spies. Why? Because he's gonna mess about with them a little bit right now. All right, he's gonna get to the point. He's gonna get what he needs to get out of them, and he's gonna test them at this point, man. Joseph's testing these brothers now to see how faithful they are, if they're gonna tell the truth, if they're gonna lie to him, if they're gonna be wicked, like how they was back then when they sold him. Sometimes you can be foolish when you're a child. You know, the Bible says foolishness is bound in the heart of a child or a young man. It could be a foolish young man, man. Or sometimes, right? But now you're grown. Let's find out. Let's see, man. Let's see if you'd lied to me still. Like when you sold me. Let's see if you still got that mindset. Read on.
And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies.
Right, we are true men. We're men of honor. We're men of dignity, man. You understand? We are true men, real men, man. And that's what you find in the ISUPK today, man. Now they're coming correct. You understand? They're coming as true men. Men that speak the truth. Men that bring forth righteousness, man. We are true men. This is brotherhood now. Now they come in correct, man. Not like when they was foolish and young and dumb, man. But they come in correct now. Coming wise now. Read on.
And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said,
You come to spy on the land, man. You come to spy on the land and steal from this place. You understand? That's what you come for. You come to spy here and start, bring your other men in to rob and steal from here. That's what you come for. All right, read on.
And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not.
And one is not. The youngest, Benjamin, is back with our father at home in Canaan. And one is not, meaning one is dead. That's him. Joseph himself, his brethren is telling him one is not, meaning he's the one that's not, meaning he's not alive. All right? One is not around. One is not here, man. One, they didn't literally say one we sold, but it said one is not. That's the one they sold. The one that is not, that's the one they sold, which is Joseph himself. They're talking to the one is not right now. The one that they sold. You understand? Read on.
And Joseph said unto them, This is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies.
You're spies, man. So even though he told them all that, he knew they were telling the truth, but he said, nah. He's gaming with them for a bit, man. You understand? And he wants more from them too. And you know what he's doing? He's seeing how brotherly they are, man. He's seeing how they are. And he's learning and seeing and checking their demeanor. And if they are true men indeed, as they say they are. You understand? Read on.
Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither.
I'm going to test you, man. I'm going to test you if you're lying or not. I'm going to further test you. So I'm going to challenge you. All right? Unless your youngest brother comes here, I won't believe you, man. Read on.
Send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you.
Right.
Or else, by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies.
What are you in? Where are you up to, Slacky?
I'm at 16. Well, I'm about 17 now.
Yeah. So he's saying, listen, I'm going to keep you all here, but send one of you to your father or to where you come from, to Canaan, and get that youngest brother. I don't believe you, man. Go and get that younger brother right now. I want to see him. Now, why does Joseph want his younger brother? Because that's his youngest brother, man. That's Benjamin, man. That's the son from his mother, from the same mother. There's only them two, Joseph and Benjamin, born from Rachel, man. All right, he wants to see his younger brother. He's not seen him. You understand? When the horrible brothers sold him, the older brothers sold him, man. Being horrible. But read on.
And he put them all together into ward 3 days.
And he locked them up for 3 days, man. Read.
And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye and carry corn for the famine of your houses.
Right, so it said, bring corn, bring food for your house. You understand? Bring food for your house, but let one of you go. Let one of you go, man, and bring your brother back. Read on.
But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so.
Read on.
And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear.
So now they're starting to think back of what they've done now, man. You understand? We're starting to think back now upon what they did to their brother Joseph. They still don't know this is Joseph, but they're thinking back now. Damn, this has come upon us. Why? Why has this evil come upon us now? Why are we getting attacked now? What's going on here now? Because of what you did to Joseph, man. Because of what they did to Joseph. That's why. Read on.
Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against this child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
There you go. So they thinking he's dead. So listen, didn't I tell you not to kill the child? I told y'all, right? And yet you got rid of him, man. Now his blood's required now, right? When Cain killed Abel, when killed Abel, the Lord required. The Lord said to Cain, "Thy brother's blood cry out to me from the ground, man." When you kill a brother in cold blood for no reason, etc., that brother's blood cry out to the Most High, man. You know that means judgment is coming on you next, man. That's what it means, man. You understand? We can't go around just killing each other and think nothing of it, man. It does not work like that. Punishment is coming your way, man. Lest you repent. Because we've all have sinned, man. We've all fell off, from keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. All the Israelites, all 12 tribes have failed from keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Now it's time to come back to them. Now it's time to start to do them again, man. All right? And have that brotherhood, man, and that brotherly love one to another. You understand? Read that again one more time, Baba Christian.
And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Right, his blood's required now. But they thinking he's dead, man. Read on.
And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter.
And Joseph spake to them by an Egyptian. That's like it by an interpreter. That's someone that could speak Hebrew. That's how Joseph spake to them. All right? I'm correct, right? I don't want to get...
Yeah.
So Joseph would have got a Hebrew interpreter to speak to them, right? All right? Didn't speak to them himself. Why? Because he would be giving it away that he is a Hebrew himself. All right? but he understood them. Why? Because they were speaking Hebrew. The Egyptians were speaking hieroglyph, whatever that is, right? Egyptian language at that time. The Israelites were speaking Hebrew, man. All right, read on.
And he turned himself about from them and wept and returned to them again and communed with them and
He
took from them.
went out from them and wept, man, because he couldn't hold it. You know what I mean? He couldn't contain himself. And he went out and wept a bit. Come back in, man. Read on.
And communed with them and took from them Simeon and bound him before their eyes.
And he's like, I'm gonna tie these. Basically what he's gonna do to them now. You know what I mean? He's gonna take Simeon. He's gonna have to do this because this is what is required. You know what I'm saying? This is what he wants to do to get to the point and get where he needs to get to. Read on.
Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn and to restore every man's money into his sack and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And he laded their asses with the corn and departed thence.
That's 26, right? So you can jump to 43 now and going from 1 again. So they're on the way back to their father Israel, all right? And Joseph said to put their substance on the corn and stuff in the horses and all that, and the money that they paid when they came down, put that back on them. Put that back on them as well. Read on.
Genesis 43:1. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
Now they're talking about their brother when they say the man. They don't even know it's their brother, man. But the man did tell us, listen, unless you bring your younger brother, don't even bother coming, man. Don't even bother coming to me, man. Read on.
If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
So if you ain't sending Benjamin with us, then we ain't going. But you understand? Because the man said if we don't bring him, he ain't seen our face, man. Read on.
And Israel said, Wherefore deal ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother?
Why did you tell him, man? Why did you tell him you had a brother? Because he's trying to, keep Isaac in cotton. Benjamin in cotton wool at this point because Joseph's dead. Joseph's gone in his eyes. Joseph's in his mind. Joseph's gone, right? Because that's what the brothers told him. So he's trying to keep Benjamin safe. You don't want Benjamin to go nowhere. Read.
And they said, The man asked us straightly of our state, and all of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brethren? And we told him, according to the tenor of these words, could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down.
He got to the point and we told him, and he said, Have you got any more brothers or siblings or your father alive? And we told him, because that's what he asked. He asked it straightly. He didn't, you know what I mean? He asked it straightly, so we just came out with it. Go on. Read on.
And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones.
Right. Read on.
I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever.
Right. If I don't bring him again, I'll be a surety for him. And if I don't bring him again, then let me blame the burden forever, right? So he's putting himself up, man, in his place in case anything happened to him, right? Be a surety, reader.
For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned the second time.
And so, like, this again, his brotherhood is going to be a surety for his brother, meaning what? He'd rather die than his brother getting harmed right here if he sends him with him. Whereas previous time he sold Joseph in a minute, man. But you see the whole different ball game now. Everything's changed, man. They're wiser now. You understand? They're better brothers now. They're more brotherly now. So Judah stepped up and said, look, you know what? Send him with me. All right? That's the Lord. The Lord taught them brotherhood, man. Because they sold their brother away. Sold their brother away. And they had to suffer the consequences, man. This is one of them. These consequences right now. They're saying, look, our brother's blood is on us, man. The Lord requires our brother's blood, man. That's what they're thinking. All right. So they're saying, look, I'll be a surety for him. Let anything happen to him, I'll put myself in that position. That's what Judah's saying right now. Read on.
And their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds.
So they had stuff in Canaan, but he just could not live off these things. They're not gonna sustain you for long term. Little nuts and balms and little fruits and stuff like that ain't gonna sustain you. Honey is not gonna sustain you. You know what I'm saying? It's not a staple food. You know what I'm saying? You can't live off nuts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? As a family and as a nation. All right? It's not going to work. Read on.
And take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks. Carry it again in your hand. Peradventure, it was an oversight.
Right. They might have miscounted it, not seeing it, etc. So bring double money and bring the money that that extra money that they put on the camel back, bring that as well. All right, read on.
Take also your brother and arise, go again unto the man.
Mm-hmm.
And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved.
All right, and that's jump from there to 26, Brother Kishore.
Verse 26. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth.
And they did what?
And bowed themselves to him to the earth.
And they bowed to Joseph, man. All right. Why? Because, again, this was the vision. And the vision is coming to pass, man. This is prophecy that Joseph dreamt. Joseph dreamt a prophecy. You understand? And they did that. They did just that, man. This happened. You understand? Read on.
Verse 27. And he asked of them of their welfare, and said, is your father well? The old man of whom you spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, thy servant our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance.
And they did what?
And they bowed down their head and made obeisance.
Now remember, when he was 17, the brothers were saying, when he was having them visions, shall we indeed bow down to you, etc., etc. Well, this is them bowing down to Joseph, man. This is it right here. Their brothers is bowing down to Joseph right here now. This is a prophecy, man. You understand? And there's prophecies in this Bible which are going to come to pass, man. People claim that they don't want to believe it. It's going to happen, man. This is the only book on the face of the earth that has prophecies in there, man, which is not yet come to pass yet, but it's going to come to pass. It must come to pass. It will come to pass. It shall come to pass. Thus says the Lord, man. All right. The raising up of the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians shall come to pass, man. We're going to get the kingdom of heaven is coming to us. Rulership on this planet earth is coming to us, man. And it will come to pass, man. You understand? That's the prophecy. That we're going to rule one day, man. We're going to be on top. You understand? We need to get ourselves together, gather ourselves together, as the Bible says. That's how we're going to get back on top, man. We need to have this brotherhood right here, man. You understand? Raising a nation on brotherhood requires the love of brotherhood, man. We need to start to love one another, love our nation, love our complexion, love our seed line, our forefathers. You understand? Trust in this Bible, man. This is the word of the Lord, man. You understand? And you will not fail, man. You will not fail. Get back to your tribe. Find your tribal origin in this Bible. Find your nation in the Holy Bible, man. All nations is written in the Bible, black man, Hispanics and Native Indians, man. And guess what? You're the #1 nation that the Lord has chosen in this Bible, man. You are the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel, man. All right, read on.
Verse 29, and he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. And
right,
he saw
he well wanted to hug up his brother, man, Benjamin, man. He longed to see Benjamin. You have to understand that him and Benjamin would have been in the same house or the same tent, man. Would have been raised together, right? And it more than likely was a baby or something when Joseph got sold. So he ain't seen him in many years. So he was longing to see his younger brother, man. Imagine being away and all you can think about is your family, man. When you're in a strange place and you're not seeing that place where you was from ever since, man. Read on.
And he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chamber and wept there.
And Salakia, that's black life, man. All black Caribbeans, Hispanics, and Native Indians has faced that one way or the other, man. You know what I mean? Growing up in a strange land, man. Having to run from your where you was at to somewhere else. You know what I mean? Sold, traded, you name it, man. We've all suffered this, man. All of our nation has suffered this. Read on.
And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
There you go, man. The Egyptians didn't even like the Israelites. Two black people that never liked each other. Understand that, man. And for the most part, the Egyptians never liked the Israelites. But the Egyptians were the ones in power, man. And they don't eat bread with the Hebrews, man. They don't like the Hebrews, man. You got the oppressors today, man, in this Western Hemisphere. They don't like the Hebrews, man. They don't want to sit with black people. They don't want to eat bread with the Mexicans and Dominicans. You understand? But they want to lock them in cages, man. They want to lock us up in jailhouses, man. They want us to be the last hired and first fired, man. All right? This is how they treat us to this very day. Nothing has changed. We've just gone from this captivity in ancient Egypt to this captivity in the Western Hemisphere, which is spiritual Egypt. That's all. It's parallel. It's the same captivity. We was in Egypt building treasure cities for Pharaoh, building the pyramids and all those things. And we was in the Western Hemisphere, in America and Britain, building up America, building Washington, D.C., you know what I'm saying? Building those places, man. What do you call that? The White House, building the White House, right? That's what our people did, man. Built Great Britain off the backs of the slavery, man. That's what they did in ancient Egypt, man. Built the pyramids off the backs of our people, our ancestors in Egypt, man. Read on.
And they sat before him the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs.
Benjamin got 5 times the amount of food on his plate. You understand? And his dishes and all the food around him more than them. Why? Because Benjamin is his younger brother, man, and he missed him so much. You understand? He gave Benjamin more, man. Read on.
And they drank and were merry with him. That's the end of the chapter. So reading.
Yeah, just jumping into 4 now. Reading on.
Chapter 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses.
Right,
And
so
when
he said to put the money in the sack's mouth, put the money back on the horseman. All right, I'm gonna find out who put the money back on. Whose ass or donkey put the money back onto you, right? Read on.
And when they were gone out of the city and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
Right, and just play along, man. Just do this thing. When you see them, overtake them, stop them, and say, why have you rewarded evil for good? All right, meaning Joseph was good to them, and they stole the money. That's what Joseph's saying. All right, so yeah, Joseph just doing that to them. Let's see what happens. Read on.
Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing.
Mm-hmm. In doing this, stole his gold cup and all these things, and his and his money, etc. You've done evil. Joseph's setting them up here. All right. Well, he's purposing it for his purpose. All right. Read on.
And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servant should do according to this thing. But behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought it again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of the Lord's house silver or gold?
All right, the money that we took that was in the mouth of the sack's mouth last time, we brought that back. So how are we gonna steal again? That's what they're saying, right? Defending themselves. Or trying to defend themselves. All right. But again, all the tests, they're being tested, man. All right. Test their patience, test their demeanor, man, their character, everything. They're being tested. And this is what brotherhood is, man. All right. Now they're being real brotherly right here. Real brotherly, man. And they're being patient. And so on and so forth too. All right, read on.
With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless.
Mm-hmm. So whoever is found with is gonna be the servant of Joseph, man. But they should be blameless. All right. Whoever is not found with, they can go about their business. That's why Joseph specifically put it on Benjamin. Read on.
Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
Right, because he's trying to get them back. Joseph don't want them to go. He don't want Benjamin to go as well. Neither, man. So the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Read on.
Then they rent their clothes.
Is that, what's that?
This is 13.
12. You just read 12. Yeah. Jump. Okay. Jump down to 25, Abakasha.
Verse 25. And we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us, then we will go down. For we may not see the man's face except our youngest brother be with us.
So they're back in land of Canaan, right?
Cool.
They're back in the land of Canaan. Hold on, no, Salakia. This is them going back to Egypt, right? After the cup was found in Benjamin's sack mouth, they had to go back. They're taking them back now like prisoners, right? Back, and now Judah is breaking it down to Joseph what he told his father before they left, and this was why Israel allowed Benjamin to go. So when Judah told his father Jacob, which is Israel, his life is in my hands, etc. Anything happens, I'll step in. You know what I'm saying? I'll take. They can take me over him, etc. Right? So Judah told Jacob everything that the man said. Therefore, he's gonna have to bring Benjamin. Otherwise, no point in going. All right, we won't see the man's face. Now, Judah is explaining it everything that he told his father, the same thing to Joseph in Egypt. Read on.
And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down. If our younger brother be with us, then we will go down. For we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. And thy servant, my father, said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons.
All right. So what did it say?
And thy servant, my father, said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons.
Right. Meaning Rachel bared him 2. Obviously, he's got 4 wives. So this specific wife bared him 2 sons. Read on.
And the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since.
Right. And one's dead. He's in pieces, man. I ain't seen him since. That's what Judah is telling Joseph at this point. You understand? Which Joseph know how everything went. So Joseph's getting everything out of them now as well, right? How they lied to their father and so on and so forth. Read on.
And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
And speaking of his dad, if you take Benjamin away, he's gonna die in sorrow, man. You understand? Because his reader is gonna tell us.
Now therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And thy servant shall...
His life is bound up in the child's life, man. Meaning he's alive because that child is alive. If that child goes, he's dead. He's finished, man. He's gonna give up. His life is bound up in that child's life because Joseph's gone, and his life is now bound up in Benjamin's life. You understand? So if he don't come back, he's gonna die, man. That's what it's saying. Read on.
And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave.
Stress, man. Stress and distress, and father has lost his favorite son, right? Meaning the you know, when you have a child that, you know, just makes you smile or whatever the case is, right? Not even just make you smile, but like, you know, you see greatness in this child. He saw greatness in Joseph. All right. Oh yeah, Joseph. You understand? Made him a special coat, etc., etc. He saw leadership in Joseph. He saw brotherhood in Joseph. You understand? That's what Jacob saw, man. All right, and so on and so forth. Qualities in Joseph. You know. Yeah. Read on.
For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever.
They're not the same as when they saw Joseph. They're different now. His brothers are more brotherly now, man. You understand? That's how we're supposed to be, man. We're supposed to love our brothers, that we'll give our life for our brothers, man. You understand? We'll stand for our brothers, man. We'll defend our brothers. As a nation, we're supposed to be like this, man. You see how you mess with one nation of, you know, the Arabs or the Somalians or the Pakistanis or Africans and any nation, you mess with one of them, and the whole all of them is coming for you. That's how we're supposed to be towards each other, man. That's how we're supposed to be, man. We ain't supposed to be selling each other out. We're supposed to be building each other up, man. We're supposed to be defending each other, man. Protecting each other. Why? Because it's in our own best interest that we are all here together and alive, man. You understand? So we can defend our nation, protect our women and our nation, man, and our brothers, man. That's what we're supposed to be. Not divided and not destroyed, man. Read on.
Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord, and
So
let the lad
he's
go up with his brethren.
right. So he's saying, let me stay. Judah is saying, let me be the bondman to you, Joseph, and let Benjamin go up with his brethren back to his father. Otherwise, his dad's gonna die of stress and the fact that he ain't returned Benjamin. So he's saying, let him stay instead. You understand? Like, take me instead and let Benjamin go. Read on.
For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
I don't even want to see him because he knows he's gonna die. Keel over and die, man. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna put him to death. The trauma and the stress of losing that second son, man. All right, read on.
Chapter 45, verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out from me, and there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
And he caused all the Egyptians to go out, man, because he couldn't hold it no more. He couldn't contain it no more. He says, call all the guards to go out from me, man. And Joseph made known himself to his brethren, to his brothers. And that shows who your brethren is, man. This is a brotherhood one-on-one class right here, man. You understand? Joseph is made himself plain to his brethren, to his brothers, to his nation, to the Hebrew Israelites. That's who Joseph is making himself plain to right here. And sent the Egyptian guards out, making himself plain to his brethren. Read on.
And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren
said, I'm Joseph, man. Is my father really alive? You know how long you have to be away for that? My father really alive? That's a long time, man. Now, I don't know exactly what age. I'm not sure. I don't think it says it in the Bible exactly what his age is at this point. He was 17 when he left, a young man, you know, bald face, smooth face. And now he's got a big beard and, you know, beard on his face and dressing like an Egyptian as well. So, but now he's making himself known to his brethren, man. I am Joseph. Read on.
And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
They were scared. This is the nigga you sold. This is the brother you sold into Egypt. I'm that nigga you sold into Egypt. I'm Joseph, man. Damn, Joseph. They scared now. They don't know what's gonna happen. All right, you sold me. Well, let's find out though. Read on.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt.
I'm Joseph, who you sold, man. But come near. Read.
Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life.
Right, so don't be angry with yourself. Don't be scared. Don't be troubled, because the Lord sent me here. It wasn't you. It was of the Most High that I was sent here to preserve life. All right, he's saving the whole earth from famine. Joseph saving the whole earth. You understand? From famine, man. You understand? The earth is being blessed through Joseph, through an Israelite at this point, man. You understand? That's what's going on here. Read on.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall be neither earing, in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a great posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
And the Most High wants you alive. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is your people. This is our ancestors. This is our forefathers, man. We're their offspring. The seed line comes through the men, comes down the line. All children having children, and you grow up and you have children. You man child, you Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you males, you understand, and you females, which are born of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians seed line. You understand, sperm. You are the Israelites. You go back to these people right here. What we're reading, you understand what we're reading about. This is our forefathers right here. All right, read on.
So now it was not you that sent me thither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all of the land of Egypt.
So your evil was meant for good. You meant it for evil on me, but it was of the Lord's doing to preserve life, man. You know, sometimes things happen and you don't understand why they're happening and so on and so forth. And it's to preserve life. It's for a better cause or purpose behind it that you don't know, but the Most High knows it. Right? So that's what this situation is, man. All right, some other situations are like that in some of our lives, etc., man. The Lord do certain things for you to have a better life, but you just don't understand it yet. All right? The Lord woke us up in the ISUPK, man, brought us out the world and bring us into the home of the truth, man, under commanding General Yohana, man. This truth had been taught since 1969. What? That Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the Israelites, man, God's chosen people. Right? We was in the world, but now we went through certain things in the world to come to this point. This is for the good, man. This is the better good, man. Now we're better people, man. You understand? Now we return unto the Lord our God. Now we understand who our nation is, and now we understand who the enemies of our nations are. And we understand that we need to unite. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need to unify, need to come together, need to have that brotherhood, brotherly love, man. All right? So we can raise up out of this bondage that we're in. You understand? And we can rule this earth, man, in righteousness. The Lord wants this earth to be set back in order. And the other nations which are wicked upon the earth, they're destroying the earth, man. Robbing, stealing, killing, all that needs to go. Murdering, abortions, you know what I'm saying? Drug dealing, all them things need to go, man. Sexual deviancy, all them things need to go. The Lord don't want those things in the earth. It's all corruption, man. It's all corruption, man. Read on.
Come on, verse 9. Haste ye and go up to my father and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not.
Right.
And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children and thy children's children, and thy flocks and thy herds and all that thou hast.
Mm-hmm.
And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, your eyes. Okay.
So, okay, where you up to? This one.
I'm at verse 12 now.
Your eyes, right? 12, Khan.
Correct.
Yeah, read on. Mm-hmm.
Khan. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you.
And Benjamin has seen it too, man. So he ain't gonna lie, right? That's the youngest son. All right, Joseph's brother. Yeah, he's gonna tell you too. All right, he's gonna confirm it. All right, read on.
And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall make haste and bring down my father hither.
And I want you to bring Jacob from Jerusalem, from Canaan. All right, that land, it didn't become Israel yet, because we didn't go into the land as a nation yet. We was there, but we wasn't given the land yet. The Lord didn't give us that land yet. All right, we sojourned there. Abraham sojourned there. The Lord said to Abraham, this land I will give thee. It's a promised land. It's not promised by man. to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's promised by God, man. It's promised by the Most High. You understand? So they was dwelling there, went down to Egypt. But guess what? The Lord's going to visit you in Egypt, and he shall surely bring you out of Egypt and bring you back to Jerusalem, man. And this what happened under Moses and Joshua later on. And we was a nation growing in Egypt, multiplied tremendously in Egypt, and then we left Egypt. Egypt got overthrown, man, and went into the wilderness, and then into the land of Israel, or Canaan, which became Israel. That's how we got there. Reader.
Come on. Verse
13.
Verse 14. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck.
Benjamin missed him too, man. Read on.
Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them.
And he saluted them, all his brethren. That kiss just means salute, man. Saluted all. Is nothing LGBT about this Bible. All right. Now, look at LGBT, and they hate the Bible, man. So just understand that. That's how simple it is. All right. They saluted one another and they wept. You know, there was you know, emotional, man. You know, like what's the term? Happy for one another, happy to see each other, man. Overwhelmed. That's the term I want. I mean, read on.
Come on. And after that, his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants.
Because, yeah, pleased Pharaoh well. Why? Because Joseph did a hell of a lot for Pharaoh, man. Joseph saved Egypt for Pharaoh. And Joseph saved other countries round about Egypt, man. You understand? Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lade your beasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your household and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt.
And Pharaoh's going to give them the good of the land of Egypt. And read on.
And ye shall eat the fat of the land.
You're going to eat the goodness of the land. The fat of the land means you're going to get good places in Egypt to dwell, man. And you're going to get the land of Goshen. We had our own part in Egypt. We weren't even around the Egyptians, man. So when it speaks of love your neighbor as yourself, we wasn't even, the Egyptians didn't live like today, where you got a Chinaman next door on that side, and you got a African man on that side, and the white man on that side, and the Arab man on, or Pakistani man on that side. That's not how it was in Goshen, man. We had our own spot in Egypt in Goshen. We had our own spot. You understand? Where black people kept that black pound or the black Egyptian, whatever peso, whatever money the Egyptian used. Do you know what they used? Any idea? No idea. Yen, pen, whatever the heck they called it, right? The Israelites could keep their own community. We had our own culture. We sustained it right there in Egypt, man. All right, like today now we're all scattered and we got everyone, other nation next door and this and that and that. That's not our neighbor according to the Bible, man. Our neighbor is those brothers that was in Goshen. You understand? Like them brothers that are our nation, man. That's our brothers. And the Bible says, love your neighbor like you love yourself. It's talking about our people. Not talking about other nations like the Ishmaelites that Joseph got sold to. He wouldn't be our neighbor. That wouldn't be our neighbor, man. All right. They sold their neighbor. They sold Joseph, their brother. All right. So that's how it works, man. We need to get this proper understanding. Read on.
Verse 19. Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
Don't worry about anything. Just calm down, man. Leave everything behind. All the rest of the stuff, leave all of that. Just calm down. Pharaoh's saying, calm down, man. Leave everything. Don't worry about all of that. We'll take care of you down here. You got the goodness of the land in Egypt. Read on.
And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way.
Pharaoh commanded them wagons, man. And he allowed it, man. He assigned it. And guess what? Did Britain assign black people to come over here in the Windrush, man? Did England assign black people to come from the West Indies and so on, Jamaica and Trinidad and all them places to come over into the England and help to build England when England was in the darkness? When England didn't know how to wipe their behind. When England didn't have the NHS, man. When Indian didn't have the underground railroad and all that. Underground rail track. Right? Did England call for black people to come over then? Yes, they did, man. They called the ships the Windrush, man. And later on, what did they do? They hated our people and sent them back to the Caribbean at old ages, man. Old people to send them back with nothing to go and die. That's what happened in ancient Egypt here too. There rose another king that did another pharaoh, man, another Egyptian king. And Joseph had died at that time. They didn't know. They didn't respected what Joseph did anymore. And guess what? They enslaved the Israelites, man. They enslaved our ancestors. You understand? This is a history of it, man. And the Lord had to step in and bring us out of that, man. Bring our forefathers out of that, man. Just like that today, we're back in Egypt, and the Lord is going to have to step in and bring black Hispanics and Native Indians out from the Christianity, out from the Christian church and all those things, out of Islam, out of Rastafarianism, you understand, out of Pan-Africanism, out of worshipping the Chinese ear of the dog or the rat or the cat or whatever the hell, out of the Muslim man, all right, out of Egyptologists. The Lord has to take us out of those things. Our mind has to get right. And then the Lord's going to deliver us out of their hands, man. Out of the hands of these oppressors and destroy them. That's what the Lord's going to do, man. Just like he did with our forefathers. Read on.
And to all of them he gave each man changes of raiment. But to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment.
Mm-hmm.
And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way.
So Joseph is brotherly, man. You understand? Joseph didn't do evil back to his brothers neither. That's a main factor of it too, man. Joseph didn't do evil back to his brothers, but he's sending for his household. He's sending for his brethren now, and he's giving them the best in Egypt, and he's going to tell them how to perform, how to be, what to say to Pharaoh in order to stay together. Joseph wants his people to stay together, even while they're in Egypt. Guess what we want in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, man? We want blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come back together. That's what the Lord requires. You understand? Just like that. That's what the Lord wants. He doesn't want us to mix and to disseminate and destroy our race. How are we going to be strong, man? How are we even going to exist? If we follow the ways of these oppressors, talking about we're going to join to them and be like, we're going to be wasted. We ain't going to be no black people no more, man. You understand? We're going to be whited out and destroyed, man. Our children, you understand? You know, our people go into other races and mixing up the royal seed line and destroying the royalty of our people, man. Nobody want to be black no more. You know why? Because the oppressors have done reverse psychology on our minds, make us feel like white is great, white is right, and black is evil, man. And it's not, man. It's the other way around. It's the other way around, man. The oppressor is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And this is what we teach and let our people know, that he's in here as the wicked. And we're in here as the righteous. And we need to return back to the Lord and stop following his ways, which make us wicked. Stop being like him. Because then we're becoming wicked like him. We need to stop that, man. We got a different way. And we need to get back to it. And this is it, man. Read on.
So he sent his brethren away, and they departed, and he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt and came unto the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not.
He didn't believe them at first, right? He's like, tell me Joseph's still alive. What? He's shocked, man. His heart is shocked. Heart fainting him. You wouldn't believe your son's still alive. They told him he was killed by a white beast. Is this your son's coat? Dipped in blood of the goats, man, of the kid. Is this your son's coat? See if it's your son's coat or not. A wild beast has killed him. That's what they told. You tell me Joseph's alive? Are you serious? For real? He's shocked, man. Read on.
And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagon which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived.
That was it, man. Just like, ready now. I want to know. Oh, he's alive. Oh, hallelujah. Most time Christ. He's alive, man. Damn. I want to go and see my son, man. I want to see Joseph, man. Where is he, man? Let's go. All right, come on. Read on.
And Israel said, It is enough. Jacob, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
And Israel said, it's enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I'm going to go and see him before I die, before, turn belly up, man. I'm going to go and see my son. Damn, I thought he was dead. He's alive. Read on.
Chapter 46 and verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose.
The Most High saying, don't fear to go down into Egypt, because I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to be taking you out of Egypt too, man. You're not meant to be in Egypt. That's not the promised land. You know what I'm saying? Africa is not the promised land, black man, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Jerusalem is the promised land. You understand? We need to get this concept. Some wicked people out here talking about Africa is the promised land. No, Jerusalem, Palestine, Israel, the place where the Jewish man is. That's the promised land, man. The place where the Arabs are fighting the Jewish man in that land there, that's our land. That's the promised land. It's promised to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which are the children of Israel. All right, that's what he's promised to you. That's the promised land. Read on.
And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and put the little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. His sons,
cattle. Yes. Yep. Verse 7. Yep. Read on.
His sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
Right, so all the Israelites are now gone down into Egypt now. This is how we went down from Jerusalem, or which was Canaan back then, which is where these Palestinians today, man. They're in Canaan. That land today, today's called Israel. Why? Because we went in there after that under Joshua and Moses. So I'm saying, so that land is Canaan here. We just left it. We're now in Egypt. And the Lord's going to deliver us out of Egypt again, and we're going to go to Canaan, man. All right, as a nation. All right, later on in the history. All right, and this is real black history too, man. Understand this. This is the real black history. This is the history. This is the major history that they hide from us, and they cover it so well, so very well, that we don't even realize we're in this book. The precious people in this book, the jewels of God found in this book. That's us, man. That's how clever they are at hiding our blessing, man. You know what I mean? Our covenant, they're hiding our God, they're hiding everything, to our heritage from us, man. This is our heritage, man. We need to come back to it, man. That was 7. Was that 7?
Come on, that's 7.
Come on. All right, get 50:7 verse 1. Chapter 50. Genesis 50:7.
Book of Genesis, chapter 50 and verse 7. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and the elders of the land of Egypt.
So it came to pass that Israel died in Egypt, man. Jacob died in Egypt. All right. But before he died, he told Joseph, when I die, do not bury me in Egypt. Jacob did not want to be buried in Egypt. Then bring me back up into Canaan. Bring me back to Jerusalem. All right, or Israel, which later became Israel. Bring me back to that land right there. That's the promised land. That's the Garden of Eden in Genesis, man. That's the land of the Lord. A1. That land don't belong just because people's in the land. The Lord created the earth and everything therein, and that land, the Lord chose that land out of every part of the earth. You understand? That's the promised land, and He promised it to give it to us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Read on. So Slacky, so Joseph saying. Jacob saying, don't bury me in here. When I die, bring up my bones and bury me in Canaan. Read on.
And all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house, only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen.
Right,
and there went up with him.
They went up, all the Israelites, apart from the children and the cattle. You understand? All the Israelites went up to Canaan, man. Read on.
And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company.
A multitude of people went up. Read.
And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning.
And this place is beyond Jordan. It's in the Jordan River, not in West Africa, not in Ghana, Benin, Nigeria. This and Togo and all that. This is in the Jordan River. That's Jerusalem, Palestine, where the Jewish man is today. In our homeland, man. That's our lands promised to us, not them. All right. And the Lord and Jacob is getting buried there. Israel being buried there. All right. And let's see what the people of that was dwelling in the land at that time said. Africans was dwelling in that land. Hamites was in that land. The Girgashites, the Hittites, the Parasites, the Jebusites. They're Hamites. But they're not us, though. We're not the same people. They're black, and we're black. I'm going to find that out in a minute, man. But read on.
And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians."
And when they saw the mourning, the crying and the weeping, because he's burying the dead, right? You know, the noise at the funeral, right? Noise at burial ground, right? The cryings and so on. They said this is a great mourning for the who? This is a great mourning for who?
To the Egyptians.
To the Egyptians, but guess who was being buried, man? An Israelite called Jacob, man. The father of the Israelites is being buried here. And the Canaanites is thinking these are Egyptians, man. So they said there's a great, because there's some Egyptians there. Moses' servants was there too, man, to aid Moses. That's where the wagons come from and the chariots to bring them up in the first place. But who was the burying? The Hebrew Israelite called Jacob. Our forefathers. So these weren't no Egyptians. Read on. That it?
Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan.
It's in Jordan, man. Why is it called Mizraim? It's beyond Jordan because they thought it was the Egyptians, which proves what? They thought the Egyptians, they thought it were the Egyptians, which proves that the Egyptians or the Israelites are black people, man. Read on.
And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre.
Right, he bought it from a Hittite, the Girgashite, the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites. He bought it from one of them Hamites, man. And the Hamite was the Hittite, man. That's who Abraham bought that burying place from. So he bought it. You understand? Like the Chinese, they got a spot in England, man. That's their place. They bought that spot. and that's how they trade and rule, trade over, and for their people, trade and commerce for their people whilst in another country, because they bought that spot for themselves in that land, in another person's land. Man. Read on.
And Joseph returning to Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father after he had buried his father.
Right. So we're gonna get some pictures of Egyptians, man, and Israelites too. You understand? Because this is what the inhabitants of the land of Canaan thought. And guess what? The inhabitants of Canaan are Hamites also. The Hittites are blacks. The Hittites are Africans, man. You understand? The Hittites and the Egyptians are brothers. They one people. You understand? And they say it's a great mourning for the Egyptians, man. But guess what? We weren't no Egyptians, man. We was the Israelites. A great mourning for the Israelites. Imagine that. Israel himself was being buried and being called an Egyptian. What they call us today, they call us Americans, Afro-American, Afro-Caribbean, West Indian. That's what they call us today, man. But we're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. And can you get some pictures of some Egyptians here? Some Egyptians and some Israelites, man. Excuse me. All right. Can I get some pictures of some Egyptians enslaving the Israelites? So we're going to look at the enslaver and the enslaved in ancient Egypt. These are what we know about slavery in Egypt. So the Torah.com. Right, the Torah is the first five books of Moses, right? Mm-hmm. And this is the history. This is real black history, man. And when I say black, we're not talking about Hamites, man. We're not talking about Africans, man. We're talking about the people that the Africans enslaved. Come on, I don't know why our people don't think Africans enslaved us, man. But what? In fact, not that they don't think that. They say that we're Africans and Africans enslaved us. We're not Africans. The Africans, the children of Ham, enslaved us, the children of Israel. Yes, we are two dark-skinned people, but we're not the same seed line. We're not the same race. We're not the same nation. You understand? We are different by far. There's things Africans do that we don't do, man. All right. And it's forbidden in our laws to do. That's why the Lord says, don't be like the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites. They're Africans, but don't be like them. That's what the Lord told us, man. The Lord gave us a culture when we came out of Egypt. That's what 40 years in the wilderness was about. Getting rid of the mindset of an Egyptian. Because the Egyptians are corrupted people, man. Egyptians are just like you see today in the Western Hemisphere. The same principle of ancient Egypt. They was enslaving black people. They black, but they was enslaving another set of black people, which are not their people. They were enslaving the Israelites. Once again, man. So just give me something specific there. That one, right? Click into that one there. Make it a bit bigger. So everyone knows that the Egyptians was black. All right. We're not talking about the people that rule Egypt today. The Arabs came and took over Egypt today. You understand? The Arab forces are coming to Egypt today. So you see light-skinned people, light-skinned Arabs today in Egypt.
Arabs,
right?
Khan, I was saying it's Arabs that are currently in the land of Egypt.
Khan, right. Yeah. You got Arabs today ruling in Egypt. They're not the ancient Egyptians. Everyone knows, Khan. Everyone knows the ancient Egyptians are black, are dark-skinned people. You understand? And we're looking at, these are the Israelites that the Egyptians had in slavery, man. Now, they don't look like Arabs to me, like what Arabs look like today. They look like the ancient Egyptians, man, in complexion-wise, but we're not the same people. You understand? All right, so that's the images of the Israelites being slaves, man. That was our forefathers enslaved. You know, back then, what would have picking in the Egypt? What would have been picking in Egypt? And all manner of service in the fields, and the Egyptians made our lives bitter, our forefathers' lives bitter in bricks and mortar. So what was we doing in bricks and mortar? What did bricks and mortar do? It builds, man. Our peoples in ancient Egypt building pyramids and all kind of buildings for Pharaoh, man. The Bible tells us we built the upper Pathros and Ramses, man. You understand? The main places that were built in Egypt. You understand? It was built on the backs of slaves. That's how Egypt was built. That's why the Lord destroyed it. Because the Lord says, woe, the Bible says, woe, I'm paraphrasing, woe unto him that buildeth a town with bloodshed. You trying to enslave another race to build your kingdom up, it's gonna go down. That's it. It's gonna go down. Because that's not how you do it, man. That's not how you do it. You don't enslave and conquer and trod down one race to make your race greater or better. You understand? Because you know the oppressors, they got white privilege today, man. You understand? And you know what people say to me? I've had this most of the week, man. All week I've had this garbage. Like they'll say, "Hey, you know, we're mixed. Some of us have got this in us and have got that in us." And who the hell's getting shut down, man? It's the bit of that's in you. Is that getting? Is that saving you? Is that keeping you alive from the oppressor shooting you down like dogs? No, it's not, man. Listen, we are the Israelites and we're different. We ain't the same. Forget talking about that blood and this bit of blood and who gives a damn about that. We're the chosen people of the Lord that the other nations hate, man. We're the people that the oppressors hate and treat us like garbage. Don't tell me about no confusion and no mix up. You are of your father. That lineage, that seed line comes from your father's race. That makes you an Israelite. If you're blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are an Israelite, man. It doesn't matter who your mother is. The seed lineage does not come from the mother. You understand? It comes from the father. That's who determines your nation and race. So if your father is a Caucasian or an oppressor, that's your nation. Even if your mother's an Israelite, your nation is of your father. That's your nation. If your father is of blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians, which are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, that's what makes you an Israelite. So you would be God's chosen people. The Lord is not the author of confusion. You understand? The Most High ain't dealing with confusion just because they caught us up and enslaved us. And guess who they enslaved? Us. Guess who the treat last hired and first fired? Us. So how the hell are we how are we getting mixed up with that? Oh, you got a bit of this and that. Don't get all confused with that nonsense. Don't get confused with that nonsense, man. You understand? Do you want to say anything or are you good?
La, we have a question in the chat if you want to take it.
What was it saying?
It says, Shalom, what makes you say that African ain't Israelites?
Because Africans are the sons of Ham.
That's right.
Africans are the sons of Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and the African lineage comes through Ham.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Ham had 4 sons. Bible dictionary. Have I got it? 1 second. 1 second. Have you got it? Have you got yo?
So I got it.
You got it? Yeah. Just get that. All right. Noah. Noah's sons. Ham. Noah's son Ham. All right. That's where the Africans come. That their lineage come from. And Ham had 4 sons, man. All right. You got it?
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, probably born about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
So Ham was one of the Ham was one of the 8 persons to live after the Lord flooded the earth with Noah. All right. Ham was one of the 8th person to live through the flood. Ham had 3 sons. They had wives. That's 6 people. Noah and his wife. That's 8 people that lived through the flood. Read on.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
So Ham was the father. Progenitor means father of the dark races, not the so-called Negroes, man. Who's the Negroes? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're the Negroes. We're the people who they call Negroes, man. And it says not the Negroes, but who? Let's find out who comes from Ham. These people enslaved us. You're gonna find out, man. Read on.
But the Egyptians.
The who?
The Egyptians.
Them same people that enslaved the Israelites and Moses' people, are my people. Read on.
Ethiopians.
Ethiopians, Cushites, we're not them neither. All right. They enslaved, they oppress us as well. The Lord's going to destroy them too. Read on.
Libyans.
Libyans, that's who's Libya? Do you know who Libyans are? Today.
Off the top of my head,
Libyans.
I think they're called Libyans today, I believe.
Is that Libya? Same Libya? North Africa?
Yeah.
Is it North Africa? I believe it's North Africa, Libya.
Yeah, North Africa.
Can okay.
And Canaanites.
And Canaanites. And Canaanites, man. They're the children that come out of Ham. We're not from Ham. Abraham's lineage do not go to these people.
Right.
Abraham's lineage go to Seth. These people's lineage go to Ham. Abraham, which is where our lineage, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our lineage go back to Salakia. Help me out.
That Abraham's lineage?
To Shem. Abraham's lineage go all the way back to Shem. All right. So we're not Africans.
And Salakia, if I could pull a scripture.
Yeah. Okay.
Book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
That's right. See that? The Lord puts a difference between the Egyptian and the Israelites, man.
That's right.
The Israelites are the Lord's chosen people. The Egyptians are not.
Right.
You understand? Just like today, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the Western Hemisphere, in the Americas today, they're God's chosen people. The oppressors that oppress us are not. The people that rule over us, they're not God's people, man.
That's right.
All right. Just like the ancient Egyptian had us in slavery and the Lord destroyed them, it's the same way that the Lord and delivered us, our forefathers, is the same way that the Lord's going to deliver us out of this Western Hemisphere and destroy these wicked people that has us now in today's time. Because we need to be free from under the hands of the oppressors. They feed us all their garbage all day, every day, man. And our people just lapping it up. Why? Because they're just lost and destroyed, man. And there's no one there to teach us the right way. And that's why the Lord's risen up the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, man. You understand? And with that, that's the class, man. Do you want to call the announcements?
All right, Shalom. This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. There's also a priest fund, which is a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The next one is the feast of the memorial of the blowing of trumpets, which is on the 15th of September. All Akim and Aqua, remember to shed the multi-ball in the hallway. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, I'm Madiam. I'm going to give the courtesy salute to the teacher. So, ye men of Israel, I'm Madiam. I'm Madiam Shabbat. I'm Madiam. Barak. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yad Matah. Class dismissed.
All right. So with that we say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai broke a thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shemala, thumb Hashem Yahushai to the sisters, the water for the reading. Shalom Israel.
Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023. Commanding General Yohana live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the Brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General Yohana will put 12 chill General Mahaiman scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, ISUPK, undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General Yohana will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
Want us to stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord's people? Israel, let's do it!